Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello, faithful Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to the Kids vs. Adults Weekly News Squiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. All week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend coming, including the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for kids about the weekend news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Simples. You ready? Let's do this. Alright kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1. The Melbourne Cup was run and won on Tuesday of this week. Name the horse that won the race. Was it A, Without a Fight, B, In a Fight, or C, Dragonfly? Yeah, that's right, it was A, Without a Fight. Question number 2. It's only November, but it's already beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. We heard in the podcast this week about a growing trend in Christmas decorations. Was it A, portable chimneys, B, real-life reindeer, or C, Christmas trees for kids' bedrooms? It was in fact C, Christmas trees for kids' bedrooms. Question number 3. PM Anthony Albanese paid a visit to China this week. In his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, a famous pop culture panda was mentioned. Which panda was it? And I'll give you a hint. He's an animated movie star, runs with a crew that includes a tiger, a crane, and a praying mantis, and he packs a punch. Yeah, of course, I'm talking about Kung Fu Panda. Who else? Question number 4. We heard in the podcast this week how a Gold Coast teenager took home a gold medal from the eSport Olympics that was held in Singapore recently. Name the popular online game that he played to win. And I'll give you a hint. It starts with F and it's hugely popular. Yeah, of course, I'm talking about Fortnite. What else? Question number 5. We heard in the podcast this week as well that teachers in Uganda are trying a new approach to get kids to come to school. They've introduced a new sport to the schoolyard. What sport is it? And I'll give you a hint. It's not a sport that's normally played by muggles. Well done if you said Quidditch. How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? Do you reckon that's enough to beat the adults? Yeah, I reckon so too. Okay, adults, now it's your turn. Fire up the grey matter. Here we go. Question number 1. We know that Prime Minister Anthony Albanese made a visit to China this week. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the first Aussie PM to visit China. Which former PM made that first visit? Yes, indeed, it was Gough Whitlam. Question number 2. The kids had a Melbourne Cup question, so here's one for you adults too. Can you name the winning jockey who took out the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup double this year? Well done if you said Mark Zahara. Question number 3. Which Aussie cricketer more than redeemed his reputation this week by scoring a double ton after missing a match last week due to a concussion following some silly golf cart antics? Yeah, of course, it was Glenn Maxwell. Question number 4. We learned on the podcast this week that huge cold ocean reefs have been discovered in a marine reserve off the coast of which group of islands? Famous for their biodiversity, and particularly the finches studied by Charles Darwin way back in 1835. Yeah, that's right, it's the Galapagos Islands. Question number 5, and here's an easy one for you to finish off, adults, because I know you always need a little bit of extra help. Name the telecommunications provider whose services were disrupted this week, throwing many Aussies' day into disarray. And I'm sorry if you were one of them, like me. Yeah, of course, it was Optus. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who won bragging rights this week? If you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. Well, that's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, November 10. Today, my friends, is Sesame Street Day, celebrating, get this, its 54th year on TV. Wow. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today and over the coming weekend. And I think, for the special occasion, we ought to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday today to Jamie from St Ives, Jace from Campbelltown, Jace from Atwell, Louise from Mount Gravatt, Jaden from West Pennant Hills, Leo from Sydney, Noah from Keilor East, Juliet from Townsville, Lockie from Newtown, Anisha from Oran Park, Hamish from French's Forest, Victoria from Moorebank, Bob from Yarra Bay, Ashlyn and Ashling from Riverwood, Rosie from Dulwich Hill, Sam from Mayfield, and Crystal, who's listening all the way over there in Auckland, New Zealand. And a belated birthday shout out today goes to Jai from Wagga Wagga. And celebrating a birthday over the coming weekend are Eloise from Mount Gravatt, Capri from Burpengary, Lily from Riverwood, Harry M from Exeter, Logan from Roos, Nave from Brisbane, and Noah from Rydalmere. Well, that's all we have time for. I hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget, there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning. And the best bit, they're absolutely free. Just as all our other excellent content is also free. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, a Squiz Kids Shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday, and for all the teachers out there, there's a Classroom Companion, our teacher-produced daily classroom activity sheets. Curriculum aligned and tied to the daily podcast twice a week, now on Mondays and Wednesdays. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all this groovy content will magically appear. For now though, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you all to get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.